a-hole if I didn't allow my future mother-in-law to get ready with us in the bridal suite? I'm going to do it again.
I'm sorry. Here we go.
Now you can see me.
All right, try it again.
Would I be the a-hole if I didn't allow my future mother-in-law to get ready with us in the bridal suite? So, different age 432 says, throwaway account because she's crazy. I, 26 female, and my fiance, 27 male, are getting married in under a month. To say our wedding planning has been less than ideal is quite the understatement. My soon-to-be mother-in-law, let's call her Barbara, has made the last year of my life a living hell. My fiance, Derek, and I have been together for 3 years, engaged for just over 1 year. When Derek and I first started dating, I had an incredible relationship with Barbara. We would hang out, run errands, have sleepovers. We had a relationship most girls dreamed of having with their future mother-in-law. That all changed when this pretty little ring slipped on my finger. And this stream changed when y'all entered it.
Yeah.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome all 285 of you. And also, thank you, Patricia. Is that right? Yeah. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. We appreciate it.
Yeah, sorry I did not get that on Friday.
Yeah, we didn't see it on Friday.
A lot of things were going on. So thank you so much for that on Friday.
Everyone's saying, not Barb. Yeah. She's failed OP and us. For some context, Barbara, I also like how they're spelling it. Barbara. There's no E in that. Barbara has an extremely volatile relationship with her ex-husband, Derek's dad, and his wife, Derek's stepmom. Their history stems back 20 plus years and has been an ever-present issue in Derek's everyday life. Barbara made it her mission for Derek to despise his father and stepmother the way she did. Totally unnecessary behavior. Fast forward to this past year, take a narcissistic future mother-in-law and a people-pleasing bride, then at a wedding, and this is where you end up. Around 8 months ago, my fiance and I decided we wanted to have a backyard rehearsal dinner with food trucks, a bonfire, games, totally our style. That sounds like a great little rehearsal dinner.
Yeah.
That's what I actually want for my wedding. I want that to be the real deal. I want the backyard style bonfire barbecue.
With a bouncy house?
Oh yeah.
Dude, bouncy house?
Oh yeah.
And
Bouncy
a DJ?
house got it. I'm getting like a Ren Fair. I'm getting like a Ren Fair band.
No.
And they're like playing the fiddle and like the ocarina.
Gotta have the flute too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole shindig.
Yeah. Of course. Who do you think I am? Okay. We figured we didn't need to do a big fancy dinner back to back. Derek's dad's house is a no-brainer. Perfect spot for something like this. Far back off any road, tons of land, a pool, top it off with an indoor basketball court in case of rain.
What?
An indoor basketball court?
Oh my gosh.
How much money do these people have? Also, wait, can you make that smaller so I can read it? Thanks. Thank you, Rachel Curtis, for celebrating your 2 months of membership. The package was delivered Saturday. Hope to see you open it this week.
Yes. We'll probably open it tomorrow with the whole gang here.
Yeah. And thank you, Daddy Jesse, for the $20. Yeah, put some daddies in the chat.
Daddy.
Do a third one.
Daddy.
There we go. Heidi Browning, thank you for celebrating your 1 month of membership. Listening from work, I broke down and paid to keep the subscription. Love you all. I love you.
We appreciate that.
Thank you for breaking down. Hopefully it wasn't a mental breakdown and just a breakdown of, I don't know.
Dance.
Expensive. A break dance. And it was IFA the IRS. Is that today?
No.
Okay.
Oh, wait, maybe.
Maybe. I'm going to read
it. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
IFA the IRS. Thank you for the $5 tip. Like an hour ago, I was smoking a joint with my neighbor while in line for an ice cream truck in my parking lot. That sounds amazing. Music and all. The absolute nostalgia I had when I heard the music. Funny thing is, I've never once smoked a joint with him before today. That sounds like a great day.
Wow.
I hope your day only got better from there. Not to mention, it's his dad's house. Well, when I brought this idea up to Barbara, we were 2.5 hours out of town for the weekend, just me and her. She lost it. Screaming, crying, stomping her feet. It was like trying to communicate with a toddler who missed their nap. All because it was going to be at Derek's dad's house. Basically, everyone is going to think stepmom is the mother of the groom instead of me. On and on, screaming history over 20 years old at me as justification. I was extremely uncomfortable, to say the least, considering I'd never seen this behavior from her. I cried myself to sleep every night that weekend. I felt pathetic and defeated. It went on like that all weekend, little digs here and there. By the time I finally got home, I broke down, crying over how I was spoken to and treated. I mean, the woman screamed in my face as if I were her 6-year-old child.
Why?
That is so uncalled for. You shouldn't be. Use your words. You're a big girl. Use your words, quite frankly. Barbara is not, Barbara. I don't like you, Barbara. Where's the E in your name, Barbara? That's all I gotta say. Cassie F says the ultimate betrayal for mother-in-law. Yeah, very true. Teddy says we love people who throw toddler tantrums at 40 plus. Yeah, it's so immature, so icky. Between then and this past weekend, there's been little digs, constant attitude, and random spiteful acts that let me know she never let go of that weekend because I came home and told Derek, who in turn flipped out on her. This past weekend was my bridal shower. I grew up about 6 hours away from where I currently live, which is Derek's hometown. Everyone, including Barbara, this one has an A. It has an A in it. Barbara and Derek, stepmom, traveled to be at the shower. I knew it wasn't going to be good when I was invited. Barbara and her response was, well, I guess if stepmother's going, I have to go, don't I? Not only did she begin moving place settings away from stepmother's table to the point where stepmother was left alone at the table. You're so high school. Like, this is so middle school. What is this?
Yeah.
Why are you being a middle school bully? She told my maid of honor that the only reason my maid of honor felt the need to sit at my table was to be the center of attention. That's just what? She's the maid of honor. Where else was she going to sit?
That's kind of how those things work.
That's how it's supposed to happen. Completely disregarding that I specifically asked to sit with her and the rest of my bridesmaids, considering I don't live near any of them anymore. And they're your bridesmaids. You don't have to make excuses. Then she tried to kick my aunt and cousin out of her table because it was the mom table. Only stopped when my mom told her she was staying. She rolled her eyes at my gifts I opened from Derek's stepmom. She was also dissing Derek's stepmom to every person she spoke to the point where 10 plus people came to me after the shower telling me how uncomfortable she made them. Derek's stepmom is the sweetest woman ever, and she left the shower crying. Why are you bullying everyone? No one likes you. You're just the worst. You're a terror. JC says, why do mother-in-laws always want to make their daughter-in-law's lives miserable? I don't know.
Their jobs.
I don't know.
Have you ever seen TLC, The Monster-in-Laws?
The what?
Monster-in-law.
What about Monster-in-Law?
I don't know. That's just...
Oh, that's just the title. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how they get jobs. Is by being terrible people.
So true. There were several other behaviors, but this post would be far too long. It already is. When Derek got home and called her out, she absolutely lost it. Now she's blowing up our phones, saying she's ashamed of Derek and I, and told Derek to have fun with his new family. So many nasty remarks a mother should never say to their son. She did her usual playing the victim, how dare we, and blaming her behavior on every other person. Zero accountability. Not cool. At this point, she has ruined every single event relating to my wedding that I've had. At this point, you gotta kick her out. Get rid of her. She hosted my bachelorette, ruined it by being mean to all my friends, throwing a gift Derek's stepmom made for her across the room in front of everyone while cursing about how stupid and ugly it was. She came with me to pick up my wedding dress, insisted on getting the one she loved that I hated, told me she didn't care for the one I got, and she hates any idea I present to her. Every time I call my parents, I'm crying over something new that she said to intentionally hurt me or disrupt our planning. Would I be the a-hole if I didn't allow her to get ready on the bridal suite on the day off? On the day of. I'm honestly scared for how she acts in there now that she thinks everyone is against her. I would prefer for her to not even come to the wedding at all, but I'll let Derek make that call. And there is a tiny baby edit, and then we'll get into your comments. I want to say that Derek has defended me in a way that has made me fall even more in love with him. He's been stern and harsh, telling her exactly how it is without faltering. The issue is this goes right over her head. I'm feeling like this will only stop if it comes from me. Yeah. And that is the end of that story. I think OP would definitely not be the a-hole for kicking her out of that bridal suite because she's a terror.
No.
She's the worst.
I have a few insights. Before we get into that, I want to put up a poll. I want to see like who has like good mother-in-laws and whose mother-in-laws are like bad. I'm gonna put up a poll.
Do you hate your mother-in-law?
If she's good, put a 1. If she's bad,
we won't tell anyone.
We won't tell anyone. The numbers will tell.
Yeah.
My insight though is.
What's your insight? Give me your insight, Riley.
I think one, she's crazy.
Yeah.
Of course.
For sure.
And then the other part is that a lot in her past marriage she has not gotten through. She's like, oh, the stepmother will feel like she's the real mother, this, that, and the other, and
she's still holding on this baggage.
Yeah, all that baggage, and that's what's really. I feel so bad. What can OP do, really? You know,
I think it will upset the mother-in-law. I think anything that OP says will upset the mother-in-law. But I think OP needs to go. I think OP's right. I think OP needs to go to the mother-in-law and be like, hey, I do not appreciate the attitude that you've been giving me this whole process. And I've spoken to Derek about it, and we both agree, and maybe Derek's there, I don't know. We both agree that like if this behavior continues, you cannot be with me in the bridal suite.
That's good.
Like something like that.
What if you're
shut it down?
OP's fiance, how do you give her that reassurance?
You say, hey, I totally support you. My mom should not be doing this. You talk to your mom. You say, hey, stop it, or you're out. And then you go and present a united front. Susie Richelieu says, sounds like she feels her ex replaced her.
Yes, that's what I was trying. Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. Well, she's like, she seems very jealous of the stepmom, who by OP's, words, seems like a very nice person that everyone gets along with. And the mother-in-law seems like a nasty person that no one likes. Duchess Cassandra says, I think if you have a great mother-in-law, you're not on Reddit writing a story about it. Yeah. Can you scroll up a little bit? There. Radish says, it feels like mother-in-law is trying to hold on so tightly to her place in Derek's life that she's actually pushing people away, insulting the stepmom in hopes people won't like her and the mother's table.
Ooh.
Yeah. It seems like she's trying to like kick out all of the parental figures in Derek's life so that she's the only one left. She's like, I will be the last mom standing. Shelly says, my mother-in-law is great. She helped me deliver my last baby since she's a midwife.
Word?
That's so nice.
What?
Wow. Yeah. Heidi Browning says, I won the lottery. I have had three mother-in-laws. Father-in-law divorced and remarried. I've gotten along well with all 3 of them, but like the new stepmother-in-law more than the previous one. Well, that's great. I'm glad you like them all. And are there any more about this story? Okay. Sophia Mata says, I cannot imagine having your mother-in-law in your bridal party. It's a big no for me either. Yeah, I'm confused if she's just asking to be in the suite or if she's asking to be like one of the bridesmaids. Because I don't know if she just wanted to like help out. But let's get into some of your donations.
Yeah, and it looks like kind of split on good and bad mother-in-laws, but it's a little 60% good mother-in-laws.
Great. I love that everyone, or half of you at least, have good mother-in-laws. Little Duckaroo, thank you for the $1 tip. if they're having the wedding in the church, the mother-in-law might spontaneously combust walking in.
Oh my.
Because she's a demon. Pigeon General, thank you for the $5 tip. Another stream, another chance to convert more worms into a pigeon. And remember to fly proud, my fellow pigeons, fly proud. I feel like the Pigeon General is in a way a Jehovah's Witness. Like you're knocking on my door, my worm's doors, and you're like, convert to pigeon. And I won't stand for it.
That was wild.
Josephine Madolo Bergquist, thank you for the $2.5. All hail Worm Queen. All the love from Sweden. Thank you, Sweden. And Ava Mamas, thank you for celebrating 1 month of membership. Love this Worm Army. Thanks for all the laughs. Love you too. Moonlit Cat Dragon, thank you for 366. And Josephine, thank you again for the $2.5. Maynard the Tool can't donate, so this is from them. Thank you, Maynard the Tool.
Aww.
And thank you, Josephine, for passing that along. I already read that one. But that is the end of that story. Wrapped up. That mother-in-law, hopefully she's out. Kick her out.
Kick her out.
Get her out of there. No one wants her.
Into a mental hospital. She needs to be checked out. Wouldn't you say? I mean, she's like acting crazy.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's like mental hospital crazy. Maybe like therapist.
I don't know if a therapist can help this.
It's just too far along. And everyone's saying no pigeons, only worms.
Hey, if you're a pigeon in the chat, throw a bird in the comments.
Throw a bird in the
Let's
comments.
see
So
you.
we
Fly
can
high, fly
so
proud.
we can worm you out. Catman Drinks Coffee, thank you for the $5 tips. Doing a drinking game, what should the rules be? When should I take a shot with something? You guys say a lot. Ooh.
Take a shot every time Sophia mentions Europe.
I'm not going to mention Europe.
Oh,
Take a shot every time we talk about the Renaissance Fair.
okay, yeah, we're gonna be talking
It's gonna
about
come up. It's gonna come up.
Yeah. It's gonna happen.
But you know what else is gonna come up?
This next story, every segue. If you really want to get a lot of shots in, every segue.
Yeah, it depends on how much you want. Like if you want like a little bit, Renaissance Fair. If you want a lot, every segue. If you want to like black out every time we say like.
Yeah.
100%.
Or we say 100%.
100%. Sometimes I say 100p if you want like just a light thing.
Every time Sophia disagrees with me, you'll die if you do that.
You'll die. But let's get into this next story because it also might end your life.
Every time Sophia has an unfinished thought.
No, I wasn't. I was just, can you say the KILL word on stream? Is that allowed?
Just say unalived.
Okay, because this story might unalive you. It doesn't even make sense. That transition didn't work. I'm sorry. Am I the a-hole for refusing to give my sister-in-law a ride to the airport because I don't want to be alone in the car with her?
You smell?
Why not? Is she gonna unalive you?
She might smell bad.
She stinks. So, not alone am I the a-hole says, my wife's younger sister, Anne, 31 female, is currently staying with us after getting out of a rough relationship. She's been here for about 6 weeks. Since she moved in, I've noticed she talks a lot about how bad men are. I've also noticed her social media is now filled with similar sentiments. Lots of stuff about how men are liars, cheaters, and worse. I kind of just chalked it up to her getting out of a relationship and post-breakup emotions. But then some of what she was saying and posting got pretty dark. To the point, I asked my wife about it and whether she thought Anne was okay. My wife said Anne is just venting after a breakup, and this is her way of processing emotions and getting her feelings out. She jokingly told me that Anne refers to me as one of the good ones. I never talked to Anne specifically about this stuff. Anne has planned a trip with some friends to all meet up in Nashville for a long weekend.
Uh-oh. Not Nashville.
Not Nashville.
They're going to get rowdy in Nashville.
Her flight was last Thursday. My wife was supposed to bring her to the airport, but she had something come up at work that she had to take care of. My wife asked me if I could bring Anne to the airport instead. I told my wife that I don't really feel comfortable doing that because I don't want to be alone in a car with Anne.
Okay, how do you feel about that?
I'm
Your
kind of
sister.
confused. That's his fiance's sister or wife's sister? No, his wife's sister.
Wife's sister. Gotcha.
So this is his sister-in-law. I don't know. I'm a little confused why he's saying that he's uncomfortable. Like I think I need a little bit more information on what she's actually saying.
What she's putting out there.
Yeah, because if she's like, unalive all men, that is a fairly common phrase that like some women will use, which isn't like it's not supposed to mean like actually. Well, no, I'm not saying every woman does this, but I'm saying like.
But like people do say that.
People do say that sometimes, and they're like it's facetious. It's not like they're actually saying it for real.
They don't mean it.
No, but. So I'm saying like maybe she's saying that and he's like taking it more seriously than she means it. Or maybe is she saying something worse? Because I think it really depends on what she's saying here. Because I don't know. I'm wondering why, like what he's uncomfortable about. Yeah. Catman drinks coffee, says shouldn't be weird if he doesn't have any sexual thoughts towards her. Yeah, Duchess Kasana says, if you're a man and your sister-in-law is spending all her time bashing men, I wouldn't want to be in an enclosed space with her either. Heidi Browning says she could accuse him of hitting on her. Yeah. I feel like I need a little bit more information of what she's saying. Josephine says, what dark things in particular is what I wonder.
It's a trip, though, to the airport.
A
car ride.
Yeah, I don't know.
If I were in the situation...
Yeah.
I know that her thoughts about men. I would be like, you know what? I'm different.
Sure.
I'm just gonna be like asking her how her day is.
Yeah.
Make her influence around men better. Like there's a lot of bad men, but I'm gonna be a good man today.
Yeah.
I'm giving you a ride to the airport.
Yeah.
I'm having cool conversations with you. I would be the difference.
Yeah,
maker.
I don't know if I would be, but Cottontail says I don't know if someone can be the a-hole for being uncomfortable. That is also true. Like he just said he's uncomfortable. I don't know. I think this could go either way for me.
He feels uncomfortable, but the a-hole move would be not to take her.
Yeah. It just depends on what she's saying. So my wife asked me why, and I told her I don't want to do anything that Anne might take the wrong way. She asked me what I meant by that, and I told her that given Anne's recent sentiments towards men, I don't want to be alone in a car with Anne. I told her it would be best for everyone if Anne got an Uber or maybe a female friend to drive her instead. My wife got upset by this and told me I was being ridiculous and said Anne would never lie about me doing anything wrong. I told her I wanted to believe that, but I would rather her and Anne be pissed at me for not giving her a ride than to have a potentially life-altering marriage-ending situation occur. So, okay. So I think what he's implying is that he thinks the sister-in-law will make up a story about him. And
Gotcha.
I feel like I don't have enough information to say whether or not she won't do that. Because I can't just be like, why would he think that? She definitely wouldn't do that. But if he's getting that vibe, I think there's a world where he's overthinking it, as Coral Barl says. But I also think, maybe he knows this story better than us. Yeah. I feel like it wouldn't have been the a-hole move if he had phrased it better.
How?
I think if he had gone to his wife,
he's voicing his concerns though.
No, but I think if he had gone to his wife and been like, "Hey, I don't feel super comfortable driving your sister to the airport because she's had some bad experiences with men recently, and I think she will feel safer." So like put it on her a little bit. Like she'll feel safer driving with a woman, and I think I have noticed some downward spiraling, or like phrase that better, but like I've noticed stuff with her mental health recently, and I think it would be a better idea for everyone in this situation if someone else drove her that was not me. I think if he had phrased it like that, he would be in the clear. Josephine says wife is the a-hole for not respecting her husband's boundaries. And Valley Lily says, listen, he finds the thought unpleasant. He won't feel comfortable about it. They are his feelings and they do not make him the a-hole. Yeah, I don't think he's the a-hole, but I do think that he could have phrased it better. Because I think right where we're at right now, the wife is going to just immediately jump on the defense for her sister.
Gotcha.
That's why, I think I kind of agree with y'all. I don't think he's the a-hole. But I don't think we have enough information about what Anne's saying.
Yeah.
What do you think though?
What do I think?
Yeah.
I think he's voicing his concerns.
Yeah.
It's a tough situation.
Yeah.
If it was me, I would just go for it.
Yeah.
And just try to make the best out of the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
Yeah. But let's continue with the story and see what he does do. My wife got mad and asked me what exactly I was saying. I finally just came out and said that I don't want to be accused of anything by Anne or have anything I do or say taken the wrong way. So I feel the safest thing to do is for me to avoid being alone in a car with Anne completely. She told me I'm being ridiculous and making this way harder than it needs to be. She said Anne isn't like that and that it would be a huge favor to both of them. I told her that Anne is going to have to find another way to get there because I'm not going to risk it.
Ooh.
Needless to say, both my wife and Anne were and are not happy with me. Anne sent me texts telling me I'm no different than every other man. Ooh, and that she thought I was better than that. My wife thinks I'm making a mountain out of a molehill and that I don't trust Anne and that I am an a-hole for even thinking Anne is capable of something like that. There is a lot of tension in our house now that Anne is back, and I've been making it a point to avoid her unless my wife is around. And there are some, I think, very relevant comments. But before we get into them, because I don't want to color your guys' opinion, I would like to do a poll and do, is he the a-hole or not? Cassie F says, I feel this is a case of missing information. I agree. Sophia Kalin says, Anna's a misandrist. I don't know if we have enough information for that. I feel like he is somewhat implying that, but I don't know if we have enough information from this Reddit post to make that judgment. Osena says it's the same situation if a woman is uncomfortable being alone with a man. That's also where my head's at. I'm like, if I said I'm uncomfortable driving in the car with, like, I don't know, my brother's friend or something, even if my brother's like, no, this guy's cool, I would hope that he would respect that, I think. So I feel like kind of looking from that, like, eye or lens, I would say he's not the a-hole. What do you think? Where are you at right now before we get into these relevant comments?
I think he is the a-hole for not doing it.
Yeah.
Because in a way, she's generalizing men with these comments, I think, on Instagram. Yeah. And that's not, I wouldn't say it applies to you because she knows who you are. And like she said, she wanted more out of you. Yeah. I would say that he is kind of the a-hole for not doing it. She's making things, it's after a breakup. She probably doesn't mean half of what she says. Yeah. But you're right. We don't know what she's saying.
That's the thing. No, like, I think that it could be like he's just kind of overthinking it. So that's why I think it can kind of go either way. Yeah. I also think if I were the sister, I understand her annoyance.
Oh, yeah.
Because Cottontail says, is it inconvenient for them? Wait, can you scroll up that? Is it inconvenient for them? Yes, but he said he's uncomfortable with it and offered a solution of Uber or a friend. He wasn't the only option. I was going to say he should have just offered to pay for an Uber. I feel like that would be obviously he has to pay for that. So it's like kind of a financial thing. But like, if he just wanted to have no issue at all, like no conflict, he should have been like, hey, I actually can't do it, but here's money for an Uber. Yeah.
Done that.
Justice Cassandra says, at this point, I think he's being overly cautious. Yeah, but there are some relevant comments. So I think that they will maybe change some of your minds, maybe keep some of you the same way because they are somewhat split in the comments. Scary Cycle 1508 says, I mean, the fact that she switched to, quote, you're just like all the other men just because you're not giving her a ride should give your wife food for thought. That said, if you're not comfortable with someone alone, start recording on your phone. And if you can't record video, record audio. Capable Ad says, that said, if you're not, I said that one. If it ever gets to the point, I think avoiding the person is the easiest choice, honestly. Victoria Dalen says, these comments over there are ridiculous. Oh, the comments over there are ridiculous. Quote, her text makes it clear you were right. Why else would she be upset? And Victoria Dalen says, maybe because you said that you thought your sister-in-law would falsely accuse you of assaulting her out of the blue. And then Weed Horse says, that's what stuck out to me too. Everybody's saying that she proved his point by being upset and that his wife is toxic for getting upset too. Like, yeah, I'd be pretty upset too if someone insinuated that I or a loved one would falsely accuse anyone. So it's pretty split in the comments. And I was looking through more of them earlier, and yeah, they're pretty split there. Which is interesting because I feel like everyone here is pretty on the not the a-hole. Love Bubble says, why did they say, can you scroll up a little bit? Why did they say give her a ride to prove a point? Who said that?
Maybe it was in the story, perhaps. I don't know.
Perhaps. And Kelke says, what is happening? TLDR, OP's wife's sister, so OP's sister-in-law, has recently had some really bad experiences with men, just with a breakup, and has been kind of talking a lot about how like she hates men and like saying a lot of stuff along those lines. And so OP, after being asked by his wife to take his sister-in-law to the airport, said, no, I'm not comfortable being alone in the car with her because I think she might there's a possibility she might falsely accuse me of something. Or there might be mixed signals. And so that's where we're at. And so the question is he the a-hole or not?
And 93% of you say he is not the a-hole.
Yeah. Sweet Hottie says, I am in the middle. And Radish says he's being asked to do something. Why can't he say no? Because it makes him uncomfortable. Yeah, I think it's difficult because I think, one, I need more information. Two, I think if I were in this situation and I was feeling uncomfortable, I would hope that, that opinion would be received well, and like my feelings of uncomfortableness would be valued and respected. And three, I understand the sister or the wife's kind of maybe anger or like protectiveness of her sister. So I think there's kind of a lot going on here.
Yeah.
Sweetie Hottie says he has every right to be cautious, but he's acting paranoid. Cassie F says, I mean, he is not the a-hole for refusing to drive, but maybe the a-hole for accusing her of planning a crime. Yeah, no, I think a lot of people are saying he has every right to say no. I think that is true. I think maybe there was a little bit of over cautiousness, which
I could definitely see that.
Yeah. I think I'm still a little bit split. I think I needed more information, but I think y'all are mostly on the not the a-hole. Victoria Saab says not the a-hole, TBH. Both of them are allowed to think the way they think. It's just not working because they need to come to a compromise. Yeah. I think they should have just done Uber and then everyone would be fine.
But it would have been a man perhaps driving.
You can I think you can request, or there is like an Uber site, like a Uber adjacent app that is only women. There are ways to get like just women. Sugar Cane says not the a-hole, but it actually sounds like maybe the hateful things is that she accused her ex or another man of assaulting her, and him having a hard line on this suggests he thinks she made it up. Explains a lot. And Linda, for me, it's a not the a-hole because he stated he's uncomfortable. However, we don't have enough information to decide if he's overly cautious. I agree. But let's get into some of these donations. Catman Drinks. Oh, wait, is that the one? Yumi Main, thank you for the $5 tip. Pigeon
Gang.
Oh, Pigeon Gang. Aurora Rose Red, thank you for the $5. Home laid up with a foot injury. Oh, I'm sorry. Was bored, but then you guys went live. Okay, OP to cure for boredom.
Let's go.
I love it. I love to hear it. I hope your foot is okay though. NHA Max, thank you for the $1 tip. I started listening to the past episodes on Spotify. On episode 1304, Riley, do you still have the tear jar? What is that?
Oh man.
If so, that is so sweet. Whoever you end up with is a lucky one for sure. What is the tear jar?
The tear jar? Oh my gosh. I have a jar of letters that I wrote to my future wife in a jar.
Aw.
And that's what it's called. I told Sam that I would cry sometimes whenever I write them, and they'd be on the thing, so he calls them the tear jar.
Aw. Yeah. That's so sweet.
Yeah.
want to do. That's so sweet. Alakazam, thank you for the $10 tip. First time donating. Took me a while to switch from Facebook to YouTube. Worth it though. Now you're streaming on my TV while folding laundry. Candle lit, doobie burning. Lol. Found y'all about 3 months ago and I'm hooked. All hail to the Worm Queen. Oh. I like that. I feel like that's like a little acronym that could go on a bracelet. You know.
What are those letters? What are those?
Like what? All hail to the. It's there on Alakazam's.
What is the acronyms of that? Let me know.
It's on right there. It's on Alakazam's. Scroll down.
What?
Scroll down right there.
Oh, those are the acronyms. I love that. Oh.
Alan Foster, thank you for the $2. Not the a-hole. Switch men with black people. It is messed up. Wait, I'm trying to figure that out. Oh, are you saying like if a black man was in the car with her, like she might falsely accuse him, which is of course something that happens. If that is what you're saying, just say yes in the comments. Curvy Girl Lala Flame, thank you for the $2. He said no. No is a complete sentence, not the a-hole. Yeah. Sarah Brown, I love you all, but I pledge my allegiance to John. Thank you for the $5 tips though. You pledge your allegiance to John?
Oh yeah.
Always. Stanley Costa, thank you for the $2 tip. He's the a-hole for accusing her, but they're the a-holes for proving his point on being uncomfortable alone with her. Yeah. I can see that. And then Wraith Schizophrenic, thank you for the $10. No means no. She seems spiteful enough to try to interfere with OP's marriage. P.S. Squirm for the Worm Queen. Squirm. Yeah. Manor of the Tools is hating any group for the way they were born is messed up. And then Bustakita says, OP is not the a-hole. Separate yourself from nonsense. And Gabby B, this will be the last one. As a very cautious person myself, due to an awful childhood and teenage years, I don't think OP is overreacting for being afraid of the sister for accusing him of something or ruining OP's marriage. I think we're a little bit, I think most people in the chat seems to agree that OP is not the a-hole, but there is some split on whether or not he should have said, I'm afraid of her falsely accusing me. But let's get into this next story. Alrighty. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. They were Sophia Kalen says no, instead of her saying all men, if we switch to all black people. I see what you're saying. But let's get into this next story. Am I the a-hole for throwing out my sister-in-law and her family? Throw them out. Throw them all out. Get rid of them. So Critical Lemon 4072 says, my husband has 2 brothers and 1 sister. His sister and her husband are not my favorite people in the world. Who's your least favorite person in the world?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to say.
It doesn't have to be a person you personally know.
Oh, yeah. Whoever has the Kim Jong-un, don't like him. The boom. Least favorite person.
Easy.
Putin, not a fan.
Not a fan.
Whoever that one dude was that did all the bad things.
He sucks.
Freaking loser.
So recently they've been couch surfing as they lost their home. Long story, which could have been avoided if they had adulted like they should have. Damn. First, they stayed with my in-laws, but they used the excuse that my father-in-law has diabetes to get rid of them and their rowdy children. Wait, what? They said, oh, my father-in-law has diabetes, and so he kicked us out?
Oh, wow.
I don't know about that. Next was his older brother and his wife. They had 2 spare rooms as 2 of their older children moved out a year ago, and they only have a 6-year-old and their 13-year-old twins at home. After 3 weeks, they had to move out due to a planned refurbishment. They were happy with them as they were generally tidy and helped out in the home. The youngest brother was the next to take them in. While my sister-in-law was there, she helped out in the home and kept her children on a leash. The youngest brother's wife is very house proud, and she allowed them to stay for a limited time only as they have had a baby recently, and her mother will be staying with them to help out for the first 6 months. Then they emotionally manipulated my husband to say okay. I agreed to it on the condition that she and her husband, as well as their children, keep the place clean, because in the past, the only place they are messy in is my home. Wait, they're clean normally, but they're just messy everywhere else, or at your home specifically?
What it sounds like.
I don't know. Oh, wait, was it Patria? Did I say Patricia? Was it Patria who gave the thing on Friday?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you, Patria. My bad. For example, if they're throwing something in the kitchen bin, they will throw it in the general direction of it and not in the actual bin. What? Are they just doing like they're like basketball? What do you say now? Because you're not supposed to say Kobe anymore, right?
You can say for Kobe now.
For Kobe. Like, are they just doing that over and over and like, oh damn, I missed?
Yeah.
That's what it seems like.
I mean, I do that too when the trash can's full.
You just say for Kobe?
I just say for Kobe and then I'll get it later.
You just miss.
Or someone else will get it later.
It's extra gross when it's food stuff that dries up and stinks out the place.
Ew.
Similar things happened in the past where she would leave her sanitary towels on top of the bin lid in the bathroom instead of in the bin. Yikes. Her oldest daughter started her period recently, and I asked the younger brother's wife how things were for tidiness. She said she had no complaints. They went to bed on time and kept the place clean. However, they were only there for 2 weeks. Okay, so I think this is what's going on right now.
Okay.
OP's in-law, OP's in-law is currently staying with another family member, and they're being clean at that family member's place. However, that family member is like, hey, you can only stay with us for a limited time. And then they're going to go to OP's house. Mm-hmm. And OP's worried because they've been really messy at her house in the past. And so she's
cleaning at the other place?
But they're cleaning at the other place. And I think that's what's going on right now. She said she had no complaints. They went to bed on time and kept the place clean. However, they were only there for 2 weeks. They are always tidy at the other houses. I know this from experience too. During Christmas and summer holidays, when we stay over at each other's places, I have seen the difference in how they are at my place and the other places. Before they moved in, I made the younger brother and my parents' in-laws witnesses to them agreeing to keep my house as clean as it is and to chip in with the chores. If they broke the rules, they would be out immediately. She fussed and denied past wrongdoings, but said, "As you wish, Your Highness," sarcastically. You're saying you're being sarcastic to the person that's letting you stay with them? No. Coral Barrel says, I just screamed. The sanitary towel on the sink. My sister-in-law has done this and I've been livid about that. Yeah. And Sophia Kalin says, so OP is housing them and they trash the place. I'm sorry. What? Yeah. So now to catch you up, OP's saying, you are allowed to live with me. However, you're signing something in front of the rest of our family saying, if you do not keep my place clean, you have to leave.
Mm-hmm.
So that is where we are. Also, Sharzad. What was it again? Sharzad.
I don't know.
I know you. I think it was Sharzad or Yeah. I believe you said your name was pronounced Sharzad. McNaughton. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. We appreciate you.
Go.
And I said the other one, right?
Yeah.
All right. The first 5 days were smooth sailing. This morning, I found a sanitary towel on top of the bin and not even wrapped properly. You got to be wrapping that.
Is that where the line is crossed?
Yeah.
After that, they're out?
No, not once.
Okay.
Because
I think where the line gets crossed.
No, I don't think after once. I think if it's a continuous thing, add it on with other things. That is not all. Her daughter is staying in my daughter's room, and she made a mess of the shampoo and conditioner in her bathroom and has left a tampon on the side of the sink.
Oh.
No, forgetting it from last night. Her husband leaves early for work, and the kitchen was a mess when I finally got downstairs. This is my nightmare. I have a curious toddler, and I don't want him to pick up a bloodied sanitary towel. I knocked on the guest room and told her to pack her stuff and get out. She looked angry and tried to play innocent. She said it was only some blood and to chuck it in the bin if it bothered me so much. No. I told her no and picked up her suitcase, throwing their stuff in it. At first, she wouldn't leave the house, saying she was going to wait for her brother as she doesn't take orders from me. But I told her this house belongs to me too. I dropped her and her youngest ones off at my in-laws. She said, get her out. No. A few hours ago, her husband came back from work, and when I wouldn't let him in, he made a scene. He went to my in-laws, but they don't want them there due to father-in-law's illness, which is the diabetes. When my husband returned from work, my in-laws turned up in our driveway with her and her family within 20 minutes. They're still standing outside and squabbling about being let in. I refused to open the door and told my husband if he backs down, he isn't welcome in our house either. She said only people on my side are allowed inside. Oh my Lord. So the family thinks I am the a-hole because I never liked her and am using any excuse to get rid of her. And there is an update.
You got to put your foot down somewhere. You know?
gotta
put it down.
Especially because OP said, like, it specifically stated that if the family is dirty, they will be kicked out. Had witnesses to that signing.
Then they signed it.
Yeah, and they signed it. Ich bin D. Wait, I forgot. Is it D? Ich bin D? I think it is. As sad as this sounds, I've had worse guests. That sucks. I'm sorry. Aramay says, OP is a legend. And Gabby B says they signed a contract and they still did that crap. Yeah. But there is an update. I think right now, before we get into it, OP is not the a-hole. They signed a contract. It doesn't really matter how far they went. If OP thinks they're not living up to the standards and has told them that they, are not living up to them, she's allowed to kick them out. Update. 1 day later. Yesterday, my driveway looked like a scene from some Mexican standoff. They were out there discussing the matter while I refused to go out and engage. After 2 hours, oh my God. Yes, 2 whole hours, they left. They are currently at my in-laws, but they made a promise to return to discuss the matter tomorrow as everyone will be home from work, and that way we could all find a workable solution. Well, at least that is what my husband relayed. When my husband got inside, I told him that I would not have them in my house. I told him that he could clean up after them, which he did. After cleaning up, he asked me why I made him do that. I told him I was just as grossed out over other people's bodily fluids as he was, and unlike him, I wasn't biologically related to them. So if he found it unsavory, imagine how bad I felt in the past cleaning up after them. He promised to buy a new bin and bleach the sink 3 times. Our strategy for tomorrow is that under no circumstances are they coming to live with us. Our niece will be made to clean up the bathroom shampoo and conditioner mess. He left that part for her. In the meantime, our daughter can use our shower. We'll see how this turns out tomorrow. And there is another update.
They're fighting for it.
They're fighting.
They're not letting them in.
Duchess Kasana says, no, I agree with OP. She has a toddler that she's got to be aware about. She also spoke to sister-in-law about throwing hygiene products in the bin, and sister-in-law just told her to do it like a maid. Yeah, that is not OP's responsibility. You have the, she's giving you a place to stay, and you have to be respectful about that. Sophia Kalen says, OP could have been even more petty. I'd have taken pictures and exposing their behavior to the family. Good luck having a good time when the in-laws need to deal with them because of bad behavior. Yeah. And Sarah, Sarah, not Sarah, says 100 P, not the a-hole. So gross. And finally, Love Bubbles. I like Love Bubbles kind of. Get the leaf blower and turn it up to the max to get them out of the driveway. Just drown them out. You're good. But let's get into this update because I believe it will be good as well.
Oh, wait. Sophia! What's up?
Oh my God. Wait, okay. We have an okay story time. I don't want to read that one quite yet because I want to tell you guys the okay story time after. So I'm going to hold off on your thing. But Sophia, lovely seeing you. We're going to get back to the story, and I'm going to read this, and we're going to tell you our okay story time about the Ren Fair.
Also, Sophia, if you don't mind, can we share our picture with you in the Discord?
Oh, yeah. Let us know if you're okay with us sharing that, because we didn't want to share it until we got your permission.
We were about to dox you pretty hard.
Yeah. Pretty hard.
I was.
I said don't. Update 2. Yesterday was a long day at my in-laws. We went early to get it over and done with. My in-laws started with the guilt trip first. They mentioned that they would take them in until they found a place. But due to father-in-law's diabetes, it wouldn't be good for his health. I told them to tell their daughter to parent her children so they wouldn't run around amok like monkeys. That way they could stay with them as they have spare bedrooms. Did you ever read that book about the monkeys on the bed?
Oh, yeah. 5 monkeys jumping on the bed. One bumped his head and went to the hospital.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
That didn't land well with sister-in-law. She went on a tirade of how I have always been jealous of her and that I was trying to drive a wedge between her and her brother. I told her she didn't like her own life, so me being jealous of her and her life was a stretch that required suspension of reality. Wait, I need to read that again. This is so good. I told her she didn't like her own life, so me being jealous of her and her life was a stretch that required suspension of reality.
What a bar.
I feel like I needed to emphasize that again because that is such a good line.
Oh my God.
Ooh, that was good. OP, you freaking nailed that. She asked my husband if he was okay with me telling him what to do with his family, as he always stays out of my family's business. She told him to lay down the law and tell me that his sister and her family would stay as long as it took them to find a new place to stay. My husband was having none of that. He told her that the house was mine just as much as his, and it was a 2 yes and 1 no deal. Just because I was a stay-at-home now doesn't mean that I didn't contribute to buying the house when I was working. The younger brother and his wife said that they wouldn't be able to host them as they had his mother-in-law staying due to the baby.
Ooh.
The older ones mentioned the refurbishments. Both the younger and the older one's wives said that I was making it up about the cleanliness, as she always kept her own house clean and kept their places clean. She should have taken pictures. They told me to suck it up and act like family. I told them I wasn't there to argue about her cleanliness, as I saw what I saw, and her brother was a witness to it and had to clean it up. He confirmed that he did and that I wasn't making it up. My sister-in-law slipped up and said, "Why did you clean it up?" to her brother, because according to her, I was meant to clean it up. Stupid. Why are you admitting it? Either she's the dumbest bee alive to admit it, or she knows she has the whole family in her pocket. Either way, I made it clear she wasn't going to stay with me, and because she got along much better with everyone else in the family, they would figure out something around their own lives. My husband told his niece that she was old enough to clean up the remaining mess, but she said no. Her father jumped in and said, "She is your niece, but my daughter, don't you dare." Oh, she is your niece, but my daughter, don't you dare tell her what to do. She made a mess at OP's house. It got heated between them, so they both had to walk it off. I told her and her husband that the only reason me and my husband were there was to get money back for the bin we had to throw out due to her sprinkling biohazards around the house. She laughed in my face and said it would never happen. I said, "Fine. I hope you realize that when I threw you out, I didn't pack all your belongings." Whoa. I still had her daughter's Switch. That's expensive. Her husband and her 2 younger ones' tablets and some of her jewelry and a few other bits and pieces, as it all happened so quickly that day. It would all be sold to recuperate my cost. We left, but she was yelling loudly about what she would do to me if I dared to sell anything. My husband has my back, and he said, "Go ahead and sell whatever you need to." Later on, they kept texting my husband to do them one last favor by putting up with her for a few months until she got back on her feet. I told him that no matter what, I wouldn't agree to let her in, her slobby husband and her horde of children either.
Ooh.
Yeah. Sticking to her guns.
Ooh.
Sticking to her guns.
Oh.
Cassandra Leonard says, "You make a mess, you clean it." And We're Maiden Aoki says, "And evicted last week. It's fun." You were evicted last week?
And she got fired today.
No, Aoki.
We're giving you all the hugs. Can we get some hearts in the chat?
Put some love in the chat for Aoki. I'm so sorry. That is not a fun week. Oh, they texted back to me. Oh, they texted me back, guilting me about his niece's education. With no place to stay close to her school, she might have to start at another school if they get a rental, which isn't in the school zone. I texted back, tough luck, and blocked them. My husband won't block his parents, but was pissed at his brothers for telling him that he was selfish to not take them in, as they were in a hard place in their lives. They did admit it was gross, but excused her behavior by texting that maybe I did something to aggravate it. It doesn't even matter if OP had. That's her house. To top this off, the oldest wife left a voice message through her husband's number to my husband's WhatsApp. She said, I kid you not, you are still okay to watch blank, her 6-year-old, on Tuesday. And are you still okay to watch her kid's name on Tuesdays and Wednesdays like usual? I told him to say, figure out what the answer to that request is. So that is where we are at now. And there is one more update to finish this off.
Oh my gosh. Are they not catching a hint here?
They're not. They're like, you can still like watch our kids, right? I know you kicked us out of your house, but you're still fine to watch them. No, you're not allowed back in that house. Josephine says, boo-hoo, sister-in-law sucks. And SoCal Saf says, oh no, consequences. Shock. Yeah. They seem dumb, quite frankly. But there is a final update.
More?
There's more. This keeps going.
Gosh.
It keeps going. The sister-in-law won't take a hint and also won't clean a mess. Went to pick up my children and had to stick around a little longer as a new family is moving to the area. Hopefully not the sister-in-law. The parents wanted to meet their children's classmates' parents, so we had a small meet and greet. The office brought my husband's older brother's daughter. Okay. The 6-year-old to me, as I am the one that usually picks her up, and on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, she stays with me. No one had picked her up, and when her teacher noticed me waiting in the hallway, she asked an office admin to bring her to me, thinking I was delayed due to meeting with the new parents. Bless you. I told them that I wasn't responsible for her anymore on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. They took her back to the office, and they must have called her mother. Okay, so I think what happened there is the sister-in-law was like, I'm just going to leave my kid there. Like, I'm literally not going to pick her up and force OP to pick her up. Like thinking, oh, OP will feel bad and take my daughter home, which is so irresponsible. Yikes. When I returned home for the meet and greet, my husband said his parents had called him and spoken their mind to him about me abandoning their granddaughter. Yep. They also put his older brother's wife on the phone, and she had a shouting match with my husband. Sister-in-law I kicked out, also had a few words with him. It ended with my husband telling his parents that they had lost the privilege to talk to him for a week, and he would only unblock them when they gave him a sincere apology, and me a sincere apology. He explained that it was up to the parents to make pickup arrangements when I had made it clear I would no longer provide free services. The sister-in-law I kicked out is staying with her parents for now. Her husband and her younger two and two of the older ones are staying with my in-laws. The other older two and the other two younger ones are spread between the other two houses. But they made an indirect threat, saying it would be a very temporary arrangement, as she promised it wouldn't take long for her to make her brother see the light. I think I am in for the long ride.
Oh boy.
Damn.
So this isn't even near the end of it.
No, there's going to be more updates. TLDR for the people who don't know what's going on. OP's sister-in-law, and her family, the sister-in-law and her family, needed a place to stay, and so we're staying at OP's house, but OP made them sign a contract with the rest of the family as witnesses, saying if they did not keep the house clean and up to OP standards, they would be kicked out. They ended up not keeping it clean. We're very dirty. We're very gross. And so OP kicked them out. And there was this whole big blow-up fight between the family members. OP's husband was on her side. And now recently, the sister-in-law said, oh, can you still pick up my kids from school? And OP said no. And then the sister-in-law left her child at the school anyway, hoping that OP would pick the kid up. And that did not happen, and there was a big fight. And that is the end of the story. OP thinks that this fight with the sister-in-law will be ongoing. But her husband is on her side, backing her up.
But it's literally the husband and OP versus everyone.
Versus everyone else,
The school system.
No one else is on her side.
The mother, the in-laws, all the brothers and sisters.
Yeah, which is crazy because, it's pretty hypocritical to be like, to say, oh, you need to house them, like you need to take care of them when they're refusing to do it.
Yeah.
And can you scroll up? Oh, Coral Barrel says that's not okay to use the kids like that. Agreed. It's very messed up to leave your kid at school alone because you're having a tiff with another adult. Don't put your kid in the middle of that. You are responsible for your own child, and you should not leave it up to chance that your kid is picked up from school. Yeah, you should have clear instructions.
I think it's because of work that they can't pick them up. That's my thought.
But OP said explicitly that she would not pick up the kid, and then the sister-in-law left her kid at school anyway, hoping that OP would pick him up. Which, you can't do that. You have to make clear plans about who's going to pick up your kid. But that is the end of the story.
And the stream.
The sister-in-law and the stream. The sister-in-law sucks. And I think it's very clear the sister-in-law is the a-hole in this. But let's read some of our donations. And also we can tell you very quickly about our Renaissance story. First, wrong one.
There we go.
Sophia D, thank you for the $20 tip. It was so nice to meet you both at the Ren Fair. You guys look great in your outfits and hope you all had an amazing time. We listened to LKOP on the drive home to ST, so they may be hooked now too. Slay.
We saw our first, we got recognized for the first time in public.
Sophia was our first fan interaction. We were maybe more excited than her.
Yeah, we were so excited to see her, and I think low-key, I think we weirded her out because we were like, "Oh my gosh, hello, how are you?" And she was like, "I just like the show."
We're like, "Ah!" It was actually pretty funny because I didn't tell you this, Sophia, when we saw you, but we were like dancing. I was dancing with Riley's girlfriend and my friend as well, and we were like dancing in this circle, and it was super fun. We had like the Renaissance Fair music going on, and we're all dancing, and Sophia walked over, and I thought she was just like another person joining our dance circle, and I was like, "Yay, come over!" And she was like, "OKOP," and I misheard her, and I thought she was joining our dance circle, and I was like, "Yeah," and she was like, "No, OKOP," and I was like, "Oh," and then I got even more excited. So it was a really great interaction, Sophia. You were very cool. We did get pictures.
We'll share the one with Sophia. I don't know if Sophia said yes or no.
We don't know yet. Well, DM us if you're okay with us sharing the picture, Sophia. And anyway, ignore that, Riley.
You doxed her?
I don't know. Samantha E, thank you for the $2 tip. Just got home from work.
You did not. No way.
I said it very quickly. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Samantha E, thank you for the $2 tip. Just got home from work. I just posted a picture of my yellow rose and pink roses in the flower Discord. Now to water my flowers and chill while listening to you guys. Sophia says good to post. We're gonna we can get it out. Rara King, thank you for celebrating your 2 months of membership. Free milestone chat. Wish I remembered it was Monday. I'm a late arrival and this story sounds extra juicy. Living with fam is hard with best relationships.
Oh, she said yes.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, cool. Bet.
We were not 10 minutes late to the stream, Josephine. We were like max 5, maybe 4. But the Renaissance Fair was very fun. And we fenced and I beat Riley at fencing.
Tell them we're tied. No.
Okay, so we.
Also, thank you, Blue.
Guys, stop saying the name.
Yeah,
stop.
Please stop.
That was an accident. We were fencing, And the first round, it's like first to 5 touches. And Riley beat me the first round or the first game. And then I was like rematch and I beat him the next. And it was great.
Happened.
And
I lost twice at fencing.
Yeah.
Because I did it in college a little bit.
And that was my first day doing it. So look at me go. But that is it.
That's the stream,
we
guys.
We reached the
Thanks
end of the stream.
We'll be back tomorrow.
You'll see us then. And we'll say more about we'll share pictures from our thing. But if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
And we love you.
And see you tomorrow.
We're gonna wait. This is a test now. We're not done yet.
We're not done yet.
I want to see how long we have to wait until, because every time I say this is the end of the stream, it gets cut off.
Okay.
So
blah blah blah. Chat.